Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Vishnu Durga from Action Invest Caribbean Inc. And I really wanted to check with you this morning and share some information about you. With you. We hear a lot about employee engagement, and many organizations are facing this kind of problem where the persons who they've hired, the persons who are part of the organization, aren't really pulling their weight. It almost seems like they don't want to be there. And sometimes you actually think it seems like these people have already resigned in their mind, but they just keep showing up every single day. And this may be you, this may be someone in the organization that you know. And you can also be in an organization where it's going pretty well. You can say it's going decently, but you know that there's so much more room for improvement in what happens in your organization. Now, I wanted to quickly share with you the methodology that we use, or at least some of the concepts that we use, so that you can have a sense of what may be happening in your organization at the moment. And what I'll do very quickly here is share my screen because most people are actually very familiar with Action Coach by now. Action Coach started off in 2014 in Guyana. So it's in November this year. We're going to be 7 years in Guyana, which is quite amazing. That what we thought would have been an organization that would have just worked with a few companies here and there really has expanded to the level that it is at today. And you can see as well that right here, right next to me, where we have Action Coach, you can actually see that Action Coach is very strong on the mind and the business education, whereas what we do with employee engagement under the Engage and Grow brand is very much about unlocking people's hearts and spirits, right? To make sure that you really have activated employees in your organization. And with activated employees, there's so much that can be done. So as I mentioned, many organizations always think about the brain, and Action Coach is very, very strong with that. Making sure that you have all the processes in place, the systems, a good governance structure with your organizational chart, that all your products are well mapped out, that you have procedures for doing almost everything. And many companies get stuck there because they think that, oh, well, if we have everything set up there, our organization will run very smoothly. And we sometimes forget that we don't have machines working in an organization, right? Because if we all had robots, I think you set up a program on a robot and you let it run and it will keep going forever. It's almost like a machine. So that's something to really be conscious about because we deal with people, right? We deal with people and people actually have hearts. And if we don't pay attention to the types of behaviors that you want to develop, the types of relationships that need to be put in place in organizations, we can always end up in issues, right? Issues with poor communication, no leaders being developed, and an overall weak culture. And weak culture in an organization, it first demotivates the team, and then it definitely will. If you have a demotivated team, you'll end up with a very demotivated customer base as well. So you might end up with the type of customers that only show up when they really absolutely need something from your organization. So we want to be very, very careful about that, understanding the difference between the brain side of an organization and the heart of an organization. And organizations do choose, people do choose to focus heavily on the brain because it's black and white, right? It's objective. You can hold a policy, you can measure a KPI, you can easily call someone in and pull their job description and say, well, you're supposed to do X, Y, and Z. And organizations don't usually venture into dealing with the hard side of the organization because it's a gray area. It can be somewhat subjective. When I say I communicate well, communication for me might mean something different than communication for someone else. Leadership, influencing people. it's a gray area, because it's so much easier to tell someone, you do this right now and that's the end of it. That is so easy. But what if you could actually have your people lead by example, so other people pay attention to that example and start to really exhibit much better behavior. Now, if I had to, explain to you how wide this is happening right now, just with our company alone, in over 50 countries already, rapidly spreading, because the methodology really works well, really, really works well. And it's not just another workshop or training or individual coaching. What we're really looking at is understanding, the level of engagement in the organization. And there are three definitions here, because when we speak about an employee that is highly disengaged, that's the type of employee that actually does less than expected. It's actually situations where if you pay this person 100,000, the value that they bring back to the organization is just about, I would say, 66,000 based on most of the research. And think about that. Some of some of the people in the organization may actually be detracting value, reducing value that the organization could actually offer. Then we have people who are just disengaged, and disengaged means that they do just what is expected. If you need them to move this table from here to there, they'll go and do it. If they need to go visit the customer, you tell them to visit the customer, they'll go do that. And that's very tough, because it always means that these people have to be managed. You always have to be pushing them, and this is the next step, and this is the next step, and this is the next step. And it takes away from the time that you and other people in the organization can actually focus on growing the organization. And then we have employees, team members who are highly engaged. And these are the type of persons in the organization that really do more than is expected. They go above and beyond. They're very proactive. They're very innovative. And these are the type of people who continue to get promoted in the organization, get salary increases, or they other organizations recognize them and make them really great offers. Because I think sometimes the mistake that disengaged employees make is to think that they're hurting the organization by being disengaged. I think that is one of the biggest mistakes that highly disengaged and disengaged employees make. They think I'm somehow hurting HR or my manager. They don't realize that the biggest portion that they're actually hurting is themselves. Because if you're not performing well, how can you expect anyone to want to move you up the ladder, or anyone outside the organization to really understand your value? If you're just hurting yourself, you're not allowing anybody else to really see what you're capable of. Our goal, at Action Invest, is to make sure that we elevate people, move the highly disengaged to just disengaged or out of the organization, because it's very, very painful. And maybe that person hasn't found their calling. Maybe they're not in the right organization. They're not in the right job. Let's understand what better suits them, so that they can focus on something that is far more aligned with what they really want to do in life. Moving the disengaged to highly engaged, I think that is very powerful, because if you were to think about your organization like a ship, like a boat, right? The highly engaged people, which is just about 15-20% of any workforce. We have actually, when we measure our clients, it usually is close to the 40-50% engagement level with highly engaged people, which is really great. And there's still so much room for improvement, because there will be 50% disengagement in such organizations. But traditionally, if you haven't been doing any work on this, these are the global statistics, and you can check on Gallup. Gallup has research and reports that are done every single year. Deloitte also does really good employee engagement research. So globally, it's about 15-20% of any organization's workforce that is, engaged. Then we have the vast majority, 60-70% of people in the organization who are just disengaged. So If the people in front were just rowing the boat and moving the boat forward, the disengaged people are standing and taking in the view. And if we needed them to do some work, we would actually have to tell, hey, you go do this, or please do this, or do that, or So the disengaged people are there for the view, and they will help if you ask them to. They will help if you ask them to. But then at the back of the boat, usually very well hidden, are the actively disengaged people in an organization. And these are the people who may be secretly sabotaging the organization. And in the boat, it almost feels like they're throwing the anchor behind the boat and it's dragging. So all the work that is done at the front of the boat to paddle and move the organization forward is almost canceled out by those people who are at the back of the boat, just dragging along. And it's very painful to see that happening, because the engaged people start getting demotivated, and then the organizations start stagnating, and sometimes they don't even stagnate, they start going backwards, because they're losing their best people, especially if leadership, if management doesn't actively do something about this. Then people leave, and it's never a problem when your weakest people, when your highly disengaged people leave the organization. That's fantastic, have a celebration. The problem is when your highly engaged people start leaving, when people who really, this is the organization for them, but because you're not taking the necessary actions, they almost feel like they don't have a choice. So I hope that this this illustration really helps. And if you need to take a snapshot, take a snapshot, send it to your leadership, send it to your manager, so that they can see what may be going on in your organization. And it's not even maybe, this happens in every organization. It happens in my own organization as well. That's why we continuously, in our organization, work on employee engagement. Our organization is nearly 70% green, and however, we still have about 30% yellow, and it will always be that way, because you'll always have people having different influences. But as a leader, it is my role to keep the green as wide and as large as possible. And if you are a leader or an aspiring leader, I think that's also your goal. Now, a lot of people say, well, Vishnu, this is all well and good. I understand now what engagement is, the big picture is. Can you tell me a little bit about more details? And I really trust that you can see my screen well. If you're using a mobile device, turn it sideways. If you're on a desktop or a laptop, you should be having a good view. But people usually ask me, can you tell me a little bit more? Can you give me a little bit more detail of how can I recognize these people? How can I actually spot someone who is actively disengaged? And actively disengaged, the type of behavior that you'll be seeing, that you'll be able to observe, is actually where the most damaging people in the workplace, they almost create chaos for an organization. They're very unhappy, and everybody knows it, right? They always have a complaint about the organization, about the colleagues, and the attitude is so very poor. They also are very good at undermining the performance of other people. So they would spread rumors, they would blame other people. Whenever it was something they were supposed to do, they never want to take responsibility. And although it is possible to move these actively disengaged people to a better space in the organization, it takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of effort. And because one of the big reasons is that they don't take feedback well. Whenever you are providing them with some information, some feedback, some advice, they see it as criticism, and they think that you have something against them. And that is very painful, right? When you take your time and you give someone some advice, and they just see it as criticism, and they actually start believing that you have something against them, that just makes the situation even worse. So that's a little bit about the people who are actively disengaged. Then what we also have are people that are just disengaged. They just see their job as, here, you give me this money and I do this thing that you wanted. It's just an exchange. Their heart and their spirit is not there. They actually arrive and leave the organization exactly on time. So if they have to show up at 8, they're there at 1 minute to 8 if you're lucky. Take their breaks at exactly the same time. when if the organization closes at 5 o'clock, by 4:30 they start preparing to leave. They start making sure that they have said goodbye to everyone. They make sure that they take a drink, take something to make some tea or something to make sure that they're well hydrated on company time. 10 minutes to 5, they might even take a washroom break, because it's always better to pee on company time. That's making a little bit of fun out of it, but that's what it seems like, right? And at 1 minute to 5, you can see them sprinting through the front door. If you just blink and if they came with a car, 1 minute past 5, they disappeared out of the parking lot, right? And they show very little passion for or creativity for the jobs, and you can see that they're just going through the motions. And you also have to think about, why did these people become disengaged? They may actually have thought that they were passed up for promotions. They may think that they're not getting paid well. They may actually not like their job, or they might distrust their managers, right? Especially in Guyana, we notice that a lot of people come from organizations where it was very tough. Their managers used to yell at them, curse them. The managers used to get involved in backbiting, and I say used to, because I hope that we are improving in that respect. But people have come from some organizations where it has been very, very terrible. And if you have any questions, please let me please let me know. I'll answer some questions at the end of me explaining all of this to you. But people come from some very, very tough places, and because their manager used to yell and scream at them and treat them like garbage, them coming into your organization, they may think that you may do the same to them. And you actually, as a leader, have to take people under your wing and let them know that there are actually some decent human beings around in the world, and that you can help them develop into a better version of themselves, or else they stay scared. I don't know if you ever saw a dog that got pelted a lot. If you even, you're just going to stretch, and they think that you're going to attack them. So it takes a lot of love and care and genuine care, right, for their well-being and their future, to help them open up, to really allow them to be much, much better versions of themselves. The people who are actively engaged, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so that you can have a really good view. The people who are actively engaged really have consistently high level of performance. Whatever you throw at them, whatever happens in the organization, they just keep rolling with it, and they just keep developing and delivering. They're always thinking about new ways to solve old problems and new problems. They're very much focused on how do they save the organization's resources, right? Instead of spending more money, putting more people, really wasting resources, they're always looking for the ways in which, how could we achieve the result with as few resources as possible. They understand their role really well, and in many cases, they start acting like mentors and coaches and trainers for the rest of the people in the organization. They have a high level of emotional commitment, so you can see that their heart is really in it. They love it. If you meet them on the road, they're telling you what's happening in their organization. They're telling you how much they love it. They can't stop talking about how much they enjoy what they do. And it's contagious, right, with persons like that. They also have a high level of commitment to the organization. So it doesn't mean that nothing ever goes wrong in the organization. But when it does go wrong, they're open enough to go and speak and say, hey, this is happening, that is happening, this is what I believe needs to be done. And they love feedback. So these are the type of people who understand that as much feedback as they can get, it will allow them to figure out how they can get even better and better and better as they move forward. And they truly do have a growth mindset. So this is, a little bit more detail of what it means to have actively disengaged people, what that behavior looks like, disengaged and actively engaged. What I did want to share with you, because a lot of people ask, well, how can I measure this a little bit better? Um, you can also take a look at when people are actually behaving, showing up in the organization. Do they look like they're rebelling or about to quit? Is there a lot of disobedience? That's a surefire way as well of knowing that you have a high level of disengagement taking over the organization. You can also have some people with willing compliance or just cheerful cooperation. But what we really want in the organization is wholehearted commitment and creative excitement. Um, I was telling you that generally people also want to know, well, how could they measure this in their organization? And I'm happy that we're able to turn something that is very subjective or has been very subjective to something that is a lot more objective. And the fastest way to find this particular test is to just click on our website, actioninvest.org, of course. Go to business owners or business executives and look for employee engagement coaching. Once you click on that, you will have a window that pops up. And on that window there, it's all about engagement. So you can learn a lot more there. I know that we don't have so much time for our coaches to come and sit with you and work with you. We work with a very limited amount of companies because it takes a lot of energy and effort on our behalf as well to work with a single organization to grow them and get them really accelerating much faster. So whilst we're doing that with the organizations that we are working with, we want to make sure that everyone else can get started on their own as well. And we actually have a calculator that calculates how much could engagement actually be costing you. So let's say you have an organization and let's say you have about 30 people. And let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger, make it easier for you to view. Let's say you have an organization with about 30 people. And we know that around the world, active disengagement is about 18%. So for sure, we know that 18%, or in this case, 5 of the 30 people are really dragging the anchor behind your boat. And let's say you're an organization that pays about 150,000 per month. I think that's a reasonable salary nowadays. I find salaries are really growing fast, and if you are the leader of an organization, that's also something to think about, because I think next year will probably increase by another 10, 15, 20% in salaries. If you don't have highly engaged people who deliver value, where are you going to find the money from to pay everyone else, right? So let's say your organization, you're paying 150,000 gross. That would be about 1.8 million per year, right? When you pay somebody $150,000 per month gross, it's actually costing the organization $1.8 million for the year, right? So I'm hoping that you pay your team a lot more. Hopefully, you're paying people 2 and 3 and 400,000. If you are, just multiply by 12 and put the number in there. There's still many organizations that pay 80,000, 60,000, and in that area, we do have to think about the cost of living and how are people, able to make out with that. But again, you can't just pay people more if they don't deliver the value, right? That doesn't make sense. So you would notice here that according to Gallup, a highly disengaged person actually cost you 34% of their salary. So when you pay them that 100,000, you're getting just about 66,000 worth in value. So that means per employee, you're actually losing 612,000 for the year. And if you check that you have 5 actively disengaged employees times 600,000 per employee, in an organization with just 30 people, this could be costing you $3 million per year. So I would encourage you, come to the website, do the numbers for yourself so that you understand exactly where your organization is at the moment. You'll also have some fantastic downloads. All our businesses, all our organizations need to serve more people. So we have some handouts that you can read through to understand exactly how you can actually move your organization forward. And you'll also understand more about how we solve these problems. How we solve these problems, you'll be able to see some of the results that you can get through the programs. You can see what our clients say. We have fantastic companies like Florid Guyana and G&J. You can actually see a testimonial as well of exactly what people thought they were getting into, what happened, and how it really moved forward. If you want to take it one step further, we could actually conduct an employee engagement survey in your organization so that you can get a report that tells you exactly what is happening in your organization. I see that we have a few comments here. So Camille is saying, thank you for letting us know. Natasha is saying, thank you. So Natasha, thanks. Glad to have been able to share this. Camille is saying, I really needed to hear this. Thank you. You're welcome. I think this is why we exist, right? We want to impact, the whole country. We want to impact the whole Caribbean. And social media, thankfully, is one of the channels that allows us to speak to more people. Because, directly we can work with maybe a dozen, 2 dozen, if we stretch it, 3 dozen companies. So this is another way in which we can get to give back. Joanne is asking, is there any way to get them to change that culture? Yes, absolutely, Joanne. We usually run programs, right? The program is about 12 weeks. So we meet with the team. Ideally, we want to deal with groups that are between 6 to 12 people, right? Because changing culture, teaching people how to be leaders, how to influence, how to hold themselves accountable, takes a level of one-on-one attention. I think some of the mistake we make in Guyana is that we want to put 50 people in a room for 3 hours, and we think that the problem is going to be solved forever. And unfortunately, that doesn't work. I hope that organizations realize by now that doing this thing once a year with 3 hours with 50 people in the room really doesn't work. It is a waste of money. I don't encourage people to waste their money. Invest your money. The reason we do it for 12 weeks, for 60 to 90 minutes per week, is we need people to develop new habits, right? If you're right-handed and I ask you, start brushing your teeth with your left hand, the first time it's going to be uncomfortable. And if you don't have to do it again, guess what you're doing the next day? You're going to go back to brushing with your right hand. So what we are basically doing is we allow you to brush with your left hand for 12 times in a row. And you would be amazed that by 6, 7, 8, 9, around that frequency, how the habit starts sinking in. And by the time you finish the program, you can brush as well with your left hand and as well as your right hand. And what the organization has then achieved is that your people now know better behavior, and they've also seen the impact of much better behavior. Can you imagine what that does for an organization? And if you go to our website, you'll see the clients that we work with. Visit their organizations and then compare it to an average organization that's not doing much. You will see the massive difference, and not just the massive difference with the way people feel, but also on the bottom line, right? Remember, organizations, especially private organizations, are set up to generate profits for their shareholders. Many of them are also doing really fantastic work in their communities. So a lot of corporate social responsibility. Corporate social responsibility and companies doing great things for their employees and for their communities only comes when an organization is profitable, right? If there's no money, how do you do anything, right? So not only do people end up in an organization that is far more energetic, far more engaged, far more innovative, far more forward-moving, the bottom line also works. And Joanne, this is something that we do, every single day. Our team, we love being able to help organizations accelerate. But I would always recommend go check the website so that you can measure what's the financial impact in my organization. If it's alarming to you, then next step would be let's measure what it is. And we use the Gallup methodology. We will set up an anonymous survey that can be done in 2 minutes. And If you're the owner, if you're the leader or the manager, the report will be forwarded to you only. So it is up to you to determine what you do with this information. But you'll get a clear snapshot. And because the people in your organization know that it's anonymous, because we're not asking them for their name, they get pretty honest, and sometimes they get brutally honest. One of the most painful things might actually be if you, the leader, you, the owner, you, the manager, if you're actually the one responsible for creating the type of culture you have. And again, step one is acknowledge it, and then decide to do something about it, and then let's get to work. The longer it's swept under the carpet, it's like a cancer, right? It keeps growing and growing and growing, and your organization may disappear. And if your organization is any good at what it does, it would be really painful to see such an organization disappear. So, Joanne, I trust I may have shed some light on the question that you asked. I really wanted to do this morning because I get so many questions, and I know that you guys don't see me as much on social media because the work we have to do with organizations takes up such a block of time. It's already 9. It's usually from 9 to 5. We're working with organizations constantly. So that's why we also have put together the Who's Who in Guyana TV show. It shows up every single Tuesday at 7:30 on NCN. So every Tuesday night, 7:30 on NCN, and it also streams at the same time on eNetworks, Channel 4. And also you'll see it premiere on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. The reason we're doing that is that, Coach Keon, Coach Prem, myself, we're so focused on growing organizations the entire day that we don't get as much time to jump on social media, as we would love to do. So we will continue doing it whenever we can. However, what we've done is put education into a TV show so that you can sit in the comfort of your own home and learn, right? Learn these things that we are focused. This afternoon we have training from 12 to 7 tonight, executive coach training, to learn even more skills. But we want to help as many people as possible. We love when people are really serious and they come to us and they say, hey, it's time, we need to elevate this company, we need to elevate this organization. That's fantastic. Those are the people we love to work with. But we know there are a lot of people out there sitting on the fence thinking, well, let me do it myself, or maybe it's not that bad, or we'll make money somehow, or I have one big customer that's going to keep supporting me. Whatever they're thinking, that's fine. I just want to make sure that everyone knows that there is an alternative. There is a way to grow faster. And if you want it, it's here. And it's completely up to you. So remember, if you want more business education, check out our show this evening at 7:30 on NCN. And this and every single Tuesday is the best way for us to be able to give that value. Thanks to those of you who sent in questions and comments. It really helps as well with us being able to continue to provide value. And what I'll do as well, I'll leave you with some videos where you can take a look at what else has been happening. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Use the calculator. It's free of cost. No charge for that. If you need an employee engagement survey, reach out. We'll do our best to get one activated for you at no cost. I think that's another way in which we can help. And other than that, it's really up to you to basically help yourself. Dr. Vishnu Durga, love working with people. I love developing people. Our whole company loves doing that. And I would love for you to also be a people developer. Take care and see you soon.
Our world is an employee engagement crisis. Only 13% of employees are engaged in the global workforce, causing dramatic effects in any organization. Your organization can expect a more engaged workforce, improved productivity, an enriched culture, and increased profit. Engage and Grow is not your traditional training company. Training is dead. We're challenging the norm with everything we do, and our customers like it. All programs are individually designed by the Engage and Grow team, enabling you to facilitate the highest quality, tailor-made programs, improve communication skills, create deeper relationships, and foster a caring, social, and cooperative attitude. Our coaching will improve leadership qualities and build solid trust between employees, encouraging innovative thinking and proactive future planning. Engage and Grow will refocus, re-energize, and re-engage your employees, and we have tangible methods to measure the results. Our workforce engagement, leadership effectiveness, women's leadership, and engaging the millennial programs will create movement in the mind of employees and your business, creating a movement that will take your company as an empowered team into the future. Bring the gusto back into your organization. Engage and Grow.
Prior to doing the course, I think we lacked communication, not necessarily so much externally, so maybe our customers weren't really aware of it, but internally, things got lost in translation. People didn't necessarily know how well to communicate or how to communicate with each other.
Some of the challenges we faced was not getting to know each other and appreciating that all of us are from different backgrounds, so they come here and there are certain behavior patterns, and the Engage and Grow program sort of brought it to light for me.
It allowed us to better understand and work with our teammates, having an idea of where each member is from, their background.
So maybe our customers weren't really aware of it, but internally, things got lost in translation. People didn't necessarily know how well to communicate or how how to communicate with each other.
Some of the challenges we faced was not getting to know each other and appreciating that all of us are from different backgrounds. So they come here and there are certain behavior patterns, and the Engage and Grow program sort of brought it to light for me.
It allowed us to better understand and work with our teammates, having an idea of where each member is from, their background, because sometimes these differences pose a challenge in our communication, and it pretty much brings about a barrier in how we communicate with each other. And this definitely helped us in that area.
People are much more aware of their co-workers, both what they can do professionally and also personally, what challenges they might be going through. People are more interested in each other. And so you end up with a more harmonious group of people. And so your team or your sum of the team becomes greater than the individual parts, which has been a major benefit for us. So because we now work better as a team, it's helped improve our sales and the way we communicate with our customers. So that helps our customer service, which ultimately, hopefully, will also improve our sales going down the line. And accountability, that was also a big problem for us. But now we're finding people that understand what accountability is all about and are holding each other accountable and themselves.
My favorite part of the program was actually getting to know my team members a little bit better.
Oh, I loved the round table, and I loved the exchanging of stories. I also loved when we were able to find out about each other, because some of our team members we didn't know much about, and then we learned more about it as we went along. If you have a positive outlook on your company, I highly recommend you taking this program because it helps with the growth of the company and the team as an individual.
I mean, I couldn't recommend this program highly enough. It's an investment, right? It's an investment for the owner because ultimately he or she is the person who benefits the most. But it's an investment in the team.
Any organization, no matter if the organization is small or if it's a large organization, that they take on a program such as this. Because ultimately, it will allow any team to work better together to achieve the common goal of the entity.
So the program impacted me in a way that I had to introspect on about myself. But the training itself, encouraged me, it motivated me to want to be a better me.
Even the deeper connections that we were able to make with each other, because we are all interdependent on each other. And I think that connection made a big difference in how we treat one another, how we react to each other, how we deal with each other.
So I think the program has impacted me significantly. I think I had a whole mind shift. You kind of just break it down in a way that, I have it. I could make the change. It gave me that confidence boost, and I think with that shift in my mindset, it changed a lot me professionally and personally, and yeah.
Why it worked is because we were able to interact and get the feedback from our peers directly with each other. How we paired up together, and also hearing from the different perspective from your peers. You would not even imagine, and you found it out by just listening.
So it impacted me in that it was more interactive, and it was a continuation over a number of weeks as compared to the other programs where everything would be put together within one day or 1 week. So it gave us the opportunity to be able to practice.
I think that a lot of the programs focus on the individual and tell the individual this is how you have to be different. But this one focuses a lot more heavily on teamwork and getting everybody to be part of a collective. And I think that manifests itself by the end of the program, because a lot of the silos that existed in the company probably came down, and we all have better communication as a result.
Well, it's a journey, and to me the journey has now just started.
while I'm impressed with the results, we still have a way to go. And the way is towards excellence. And I believe this program is one that is directed towards achieving excellence. Not just excellence in the business, but also in the personal side of the individual. I highly recommend it.
Here through Ginger's Concards Investment, where we connect people. We are working with GPT, digital selling phone cards and top up. We do GPL prepaid cards, we do MMG, and that's our business. I'm with Engaging Grow through my company, and coming into it, I was a bit open-minded, but I had some doubts because I didn't know where it was going to go. I'm going to say that I was a bit selfish, thinking that what this program is going to do for me. However, the program is about teamwork, leadership abilities, and what we can do. I can say that my team has grown. We are at a point where we're trusting, and that's what Engage and Grow does. They bring you together. They taught you to share. So persons or your team members or other leaders who know you on not just work-based, but on personal level, so that you can communicate. You might even find that you have a lot of things in common. So Engage and Grow has taught us to grow. And we were, I would say that we were at a good stage, but now we're grown and we're adults and we share, we laugh, we take accountability, we're more respectful, and we're stronger.
My name is Maxima. Okay, coming to the Engage Group first when I was offered to come here, I didn't want to come. Because I was like, why they always picking on me? Why they picking on me? And when I come here, it was so amazing. Coach Vishnu was so natural, he was so good. And he taught me a whole lot of things because I was a person in the background. I never liked to speak out or be open up. I always just like to come, do my work, go home, stuff like that. But now I'm very open up now. I'm very comfortable with myself now and with people. I can reach out to them and talk to them. Like for instance, the round table, I love that. I love knowing that people are my weakness and my strong and work on what I need to work on and what I need to throw away. And I like the 5 years that he taught us in the office. Keep looking for it and keep working on it. And the recognition for doing good with staff. This first, it was just like, oh, she just did something good, whatever. But now, it is so good. It is so wonderful. So I love the program, and it's so sweet. I enjoy each and every single day of it. And after, I would like to continue practicing what I learned here, not only at work, but in my home also with my partner and my brothers and sisters. I love it so much. So thank you. My name is Esther Henry. I'm from JJ's Accounts Department. The first time that we came out to the program, I thought was bare writing and hard work. But as we go through the 12 weeks of program, I have learned a lot of valuable information that I can share with our company, our staff, and even personal, like how to be objective, put figure to it, and different we go through doing the roadmap out describing our faults and how to improve them. And also we can share that little information with our kids, encourage them to be honest and to be accountable for what action they, portrayed.
My name is Melissa Assad. I am from JJ's Congress Investment. I actually hold the position of senior cashier. Alright, first, being when I was chosen to be part of the engagement group, I basically thought it was a basic stock-up program whereby it's like the work. However, the first week was that actually something that I didn't expect. Coach Vishnu's team his agenda was amazing. It was informative. He actually helped us, or helped team, I should say, individually. He made us understand that business is not just about having a brain side, also to make it work, us to connect on a heart level, because connect on common grounds, I should say. My biggest takeaway is identifying our behaviors that we would practice every single day within the office. Also, the round table, my team members to recognize and tell us things that we need to improve ourselves on.
My name is Nafisa Tony. I am from Ginger Full Credit Investment. I'm in the accounts department. And at first, when the owner of the company told us we were going to go engagement program, for me, I didn't want to go because I think it would be a lot of work, homework, and when getting there and meeting Coach Vishnu, it was really exciting. I was seeing that homework, fun work. You get a chance to bring out the best of your ability, promote your agreed behavior, being accountable, being rewarded and recognized as an individual where I'm working. And what stands out for me is roundtable talk, whereby I get to exercise my strength and my weakness, and my coworkers letting me know where I need to improve and where I need to delete. And that for me stands out a great lot, because at first my ego was really high. I never wanted no one to come to me. I was very negative towards person coming to ask me things. I just wanted to do my work, focus more on me. And now I'm more of a team person. I assist my peers and I get the work done. So that stands out for me, the round table talk. Finishing the program, it helped me to be more confident in myself, helped me to be more open up, assist my coworkers more, and open up in the sense I could go in front of the class and host meeting, be more open up to assist others, and yeah, that stands out for me a lot.
My name is John St. Sampson. I'm the marketing representative of G&G for Cards Investment. When I first came to this class, what I was expecting was that it was just going to be boring and I'm just going to sit in front of the class like any other lecturer would teach. But then I realized that it was a fun class and it was exciting for me. I gained a lot. I've learned about recognizing people. The biggest takeaway from this program, from Engage and Grow, is the round table. Because, everybody gets comfortable in doing what they're doing and they think that what they're doing is correct and right. But when you get other person's feedback or other person's comments or what they think about you, you realize that there are some things that you need to improve on and to work on. So I learned that here at Engage and Grow, and it's benefiting me very well ever since.
My name is Ram Pratap Etwaria, known as Jimmy, and we are the largest wholesaler for both GTT phone cards and airtime, and digital phone cards and airtime. We also is the super agent for MMG, and we do GPL prepaid tokens. Our major focus in Guyana here is we build wholesalers throughout the country. In every area, in every district in Guyana, we seek to have a wholesaler for both GTT and digital phone cards.
And how long have you been?
This next year will be 31 years now in business.
31 years.
31 years. And although it's the smallest profit margin, you make a 1% or a 0.5%, we have built wholesalers within 3-4 years to get own car, own house, and so on. Although it's a rapid business but very small profit margin. Before we did the engagement program, the team was getting at each other, like backbiting and so on, and I've decided to invest money. And now we completed, we are bonding. We can't just stop bonding. And I would like to recommend the Engage and Grow program to any business owner who wants to build a team so that the owner doesn't have to do the work, but build a team so that the team will do the work and take care of all the customers. So when the team take care of the customers will take up the business, and business will take care of the owner, and the owner will take care of the team. So as I'd like to recommend the Engage and Grow program for all business owners.
Being a business owner is a lonely job. As business continues to change so rapidly, staying ahead and above water can feel overwhelming. You have little time to concentrate on growing your business because you're stuck working in your business. Your attention is on the day-to-day operations, handling emergencies, and you are challenged to create that winning team that can run your business when you aren't there. You aren't making the money you could be because you aren't focused on multiplying your profitability. What would it feel like if your business finally gave you more than you put into it? Wouldn't it be nice to have a business that works without you? To have a team of customer-focused individuals who delivered on your company's promise even when you aren't there? Wouldn't it be great to be able to have the time to enjoy your family and have real work-life balance? You can live your best business life. But how? Most businesses invest in professional expertise in the most important aspects of their business. You hire an accountant or financial advisor to ensure your money is managed effectively. You hire a lawyer to help you navigate legal matters. Why not hire a business coach to help you with everything else? An action coach is a certified professional who brings with them a unique perspective and a set of skills to help you re-energize your business operation. They will help you find new, effective ways to solve some of your most taxing business challenges. Employing an action coach is a partnership, a relationship, and they will mentor you as your business grows. Quite simply, an action coach will help you find ways to have more time, build more effective teams, and make more money. Action Coach is the leading coaching company in the world with nearly 1,000 coaches working with more than 18,000 businesses a week. We not only expect results, we guarantee them with our 17-week guarantee. You can choose from a variety of business programs, from one-to-one coaching to group coaching. There is something for every business and every budget. Your business is not broken. And adding an action coach to your team will transform you into a powerful and robust business in your community. Working with a business coach can help you set up systems, processes, and strategies to help your business run more effectively and ultimately get ahead of your competition. You aren't alone. And we will work with you to help you find the most precious of resources: time. It is time to invest in your business and invest in your future. Go to actioncoach.com and the first coaching session is on us.